The sun slipped beneath the Algarve horizon, painting Praia da Luz in gold. In apartments 5A of the Ocean Club Resort, Kate McCann's happed 3-year-old Madeleine into bed. Her pink Eeyore pajamas clung softly against the cool night air. Beside her, the twins stirred, then fell silent again. At 8:30 p.m., Kate and Jerry slipped out to dine with friends just steps away. They promised themselves they'd check every half hour. Parents, friends, laughter, wine. The night felt ordinary. But behind those shutters, a fragile peace rested on borrowed time. By dawn, the world would never look at this family the same. At 9:05, Jerry looked in. Madeleine was safe. Minutes later, Jane Tanner saw a shadowy man, child in arms. At 10 p.m., Kate returns. The twins slept, but Madeleine's bed was empty. The window gaped open, the shutter raised. Kate's scream shattered the night. They'd taken her. Chaos erupted. Resort staff searched every corner, locals lit the streets, the police scrambled. Within hours, headlines screamed across continents. A stolen child, a seaside mystery, a mother's anguished cry. To millions, this was no longer a private nightmare. It was the beginning of one of the world's most haunting disappearances. In Britain, the McCanns weren't instantly sanctified. Both doctors, articulate and composed, became the faces of dignified grief. Newspapers splashed Madeleine's smile across front pages. David Beckham, J.K. Rowling, Richard Branson, celebrities rallied. The Pope granted an audience. Millions donated to the fund. The story was irresistible. A child stolen from innocence, parents battling against time. It was simple, heartbreaking, unforgettable. But while the world mourns, Portuguese investigators found themselves drowning in pressure. Cameras swarmed the Ocean Club, journalists dictated the narrative, and behind the headlines, one detective became scene fractures in the perfect picture. Gonzalo Amaral wasn't built for headlines. A seasoned investigator, blunt and meticulous, he studied the evidence. The shutters, said to be forced, showed no damage, only open from inside. Fingerprints? Only Kate's. No sign of a struggle, no cries from the twins. And why, Amaral asked, did the parents refuse to test the children for sedatives? Each answer deepened suspicion. This didn't resemble a violent break-in. It resembled a staged scene. Quietly, Amaral's focus shifted. What if this was never an abduction at all? What if the tragedy happened within those very walls? July 7. From Written Cream, Eddie and Keela, elite sniffer dogs with flawless records. Inside apartment 5A, Eddie froze, then barked. Behind the sofa, in the closet, on Kate's clothes, on Madeleine's toy, and then in the trunk of a rental Scenic rented weeks after her disappearance. Keela, trained for blood, confirmed the same spots. Forensics uncovered traces too degraded for certainty. But the implications were chilling. Had Madeleine died in the apartment? Had her body been moved? The findings cracked the global narrative. To Amaral, the evidence whispered of a cover-up. To the world, doubt had finally crept in. The dog's alerts should have changed everything. If Madeleine had died in the apartment and been transported in the McCann's car, the story of the world's embraced collapsed. Suddenly, Kate and Jerry were not grieving parents. They were suspects. Amaral pressed harder, but witness accounts unraveled. Jane Tanner's timeline shifted. Her mysterious man changed clothes and directions. The Smith family claimed they saw Jerry carrying a child that night. Then came Kate's interrogation. 48 questions and silence in reply. Why didn't she search? Why scream, "They've taken her," before confirming? By September 2007, both parents were declared arguidos, formal suspects in their own daughter's disappearance. Momentum built, but power intervened. Days after British tabloids condemned Portuguese police, Amaral was abruptly removed from the case. The official reason? Inappropriate comments about UK officers. Behind closed doors, diplomatic cables told another story. Intense British pressure. The McCanns had allies at the highest level: direct contact with Prime Minister Gordon Brown, media handlers from London, even the ambassador leaning in. British press turned the fury on Amaral, branding him fat, drunk, and incompetent. The message was unmistakable. The McCanns were untouchable. By July 2008, the case was archived. Not solved, not closed, but silenced. Silenced but unbroken, Amaral struck back. In 2008, he published The Truth of the Lie, built on official case files. His theory: Madeleine died in the apartment, likely by accident. Her parents panicked, concealed the body, and staged an abduction. The book exploded in Portugal. 180,000 copies sold. But in Britain, publishers dared not touch it. The McCanns sued, branded him a liar. Courts banned the book, fined him 500,000 euros. Yet this saga twisted again. Higher courts overturned bans, reinstated damages, then reversed them. Finally, Portugal's Supreme Court ruled. The McCanns had never been cleared, only archived. Amaral's right to speak remained. In 2020, hope of clarity returned. German prosecutors unveiled a new suspect: Christian Brickner, a convicted sex offender living in Praia da Luz at the time. To them, he was the abductor. They declared Madeleine dead. But Amaral and many others saw holes. No DNA, no fingerprints, no witness placing him in apartment 5A. Just alleged confessions to friends and fragments of circumstantial evidence. Ironically, Bruckner had been flagged and dismissed in 2008, mentioned even in Amaral's book. If he was guilty, why did cadaver dogs react inside the McCanns' flat and car? The German theory didn't erase contradictions, it only deepened them. Nearly 2 decades later, the case lives in shadows. In Britain, the McCanns remain symbols of parental loss, heroes fighting for answers. Questioning them is taboo, an attack on grief itself. In Portugal, suspicion lingers. Evidence, witness contradictions, and forensic analyse haunts the narrative. 2 countries, 2 realities, 2 incompatible truths. Amaral, battled but defiant, won his fight for free expression. The McCanns, relentless in their legal battles, cling to the adoption story. And Madeleine, vanished, silent, remains at the center. The case endures as a chilling reminder. Sometimes, the search for truth fractures into parallel worlds, each convinced the other is blind.